G'day everyone, and welcome to today's video. So this is from a daily race recorded from, I don't know, probably a month ago now. Yes, very slow getting these to you, but so many good races, one video a week, you know, what are you going to do? But here we go. So it's Red Bull Ring in Group 3, so I've, as usual, appropriate as of the time of the game here, using the Audi R8 Group 3. So pretty much, if you didn't use this car, you weren't going to win. But we just look at the qualifying lap here for the races for all the races actually, you're going to see. So we're up from a 30.6. I really wanted to get a sub 30, so 29.9 or something like that. But we'll see how we go as we break down towards turn 3 at the moment. Just exiting that corner there. So you can see down the bottom we're gaining time, so you see the little -0.18 with the little up blue arrow at the bottom of the screen. That's the relative time. So if it's red and pointing down, I'm losing time relative to the Ghost. If it's up and pointing up and blue, I'm gaining time on the current Ghost, which I think I have turned off at the moment. You just see going through there. Oh, there you go. You see the Ghost there. But you just see I've lost 2/10 going through there, but I've just gained it all back through that corner, and I'm gaining more now, and I turn in perfectly to that corner, get on the power, you know, 5/10, 6/10 up on that time there, and we're going to cross the line. Now it's a 29.9, so there is my lap time. But that's really what I wanted for these races coming up, so we're going to talk you through a few today. I hope you enjoy them. Hopefully you don't enjoy them like I did. You'll soon see what I mean by that. But you can just see I've changed the livery. I've got a Max Verstappen Formula 1 inspired livery on my Audi there in pole position. So we'll see the start of the race now. But we'll talk about Red Bull Ring for a second. So it's a real life circuit in Austria, a length of 4.3 kilometers. The longest straight is just short of a kilometer, so that'll be probably the run from turn 1 to turn 2 rather. And it has an elevation change of 66 meters, so it's a bit of a roller coaster. It was introduced in Gran Turismo on update 1.25 and was first built in 1969. So as you just come up towards turn 1, we'll see what chaos happens. Not much. Get through there nicely and actually form a bit of a gap. And I should add, actually, the current layout was introduced in 2011, so if you have a look on, I think it's racinginfo.com, I'll put it in the description. You can see the evolution of the track, and it's a massive change from when it was first built to its current variation now. But we get through turn 2 not too badly. Just see behind, just in the track map, a whole group of people there, so massive fighting, so it's looking good at the moment. See, as we break down here, is anything gonna happen? No, we'll probably brake a little bit too much, but get the power down okay, and we're now accelerating up towards the little infield section now, nearly 2 seconds up on the the guy behind, the Jap, Yoshidani. We get the turn 5, not that good, go in a bit narrow and exit a bit narrow. Coming out of turn 6, I just get caught on the curb and touch the gravel, and you know what that means, really aggressive penalties at this place. There it is, half a second. So aggressive as in, you can get one easily, not aggressive as in they're massive. But as you come up towards turn 2 of lap 2, we hop over the curb and get the power down. A little bit of oversteer, but not too bad, and we just serve the penalty there. So we're a second ahead, and half a second isn't that big of a penalty, but we'll just see how close the Beetle behind can get. So we've switched to the radar now. You just see he comes flying in with an absolute savage attack. So I would say he's just missed his braking point, but obviously using contact to get through isn't nice, using me as a brake. Just see him a bit erratic in his driving style there. So we're now 4/10 behind him now. Let's see what happens coming through the infield section. Not much, because we skip ahead, as it seems. Coming up towards turn 1, we come up just behind him. I think we did tap him, but I'm not 100% sure. The game struggling with my 1 bar of internet connection. So we're coming up towards turn 2. We got someone on my right hand side, sorry. As we break up towards turn 2, the Mercedes shoots through, does go a bit deep, but manages to cut back, and I don't quite get the run because he was on the curb where I needed to sort of exit out to, but I do manage to keep the position there, but he's right behind, so we're going to have another attack into turn 3 as we come down the hill, braking just before the 100-metre mark, which is evidently just a touch too late as we just slide wide and get on the power. But you see the Mercedes behind, the Mercedes AMG is still behind as he just gets a little bit of a moment on the curb on the way out, and we come in towards the infield section again. So AMG still firmly behind in the slipstream, 2.5 tenths behind, and we are now 4 tenths behind the leader there. But he gets a good run off there, so now he's going to streak off into the distance, 7 tenths up, but we still have the AMG behind, so we're thinking about going defensive. He looks up the inside. Is he going to get it to stick through turn 8 now? He does, just swipes across the front, and honestly it's a bit clumsy. Comes back on the track and smashes me across the middle, across the infield of that corner. Now, is that going to result in a penalty for me? I certainly hope not. I don't think it does, no, thank goodness. The game recognising I was pushed into that. But we see there's someone on my outside now. It's the AMG again. We're going to brake towards the top turn, turn 2, and as we get on the power, the Mercedes is there, and we bin it into the middle wall. Oh my goodness, an absolute disaster. So really it could have been a second, it should have been a first. So just getting on the power, we managed to spin it around the wrong way. Got the hazards on. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. Get reset, we time travel, go back to the past, and honestly that just could not have been worse. So as we come through turn 8, we run a bit wide, which is really clumsy, and we run a touch wide again. So we're really rattled by that, coming around to finish lap 4 at the moment. So we're going to get half a second of penalties for my consecutive running wide. So another AMG makes his way past, and as we serve the penalty, we're going to lose a position to the Nissan now as he comes through. So we're now in 14th place. So we'll just see what happens down at turn 3 at the moment. So the AMG's off, and this ends deep. We're going to make 2 positions up there. Get a little bit of oversteer, but nothing too bad. We still managed to keep the 12th position, which really should have been 10 less. We just see there's a car off the track, another Audi, and we've got to be able to pass him. Yes, he's all a bit out of shape coming through the final turn, Red Bull Mobile, turn 9. But we managed to get past him and do finish in 11th. It really should have been, probably, I could have got first, but I don't think I was quite up to the pace of Yoshidani there in his Beetle in first place. So we're going to move on to the next race we did, which is beginning now. So daily race B, as you can see on screen now. No fuel or tyre wear to contend with. So it's just a pure sprint from start to finish. We're rating BS, which is okay, S rated SR, which is where you really want to be. It's really quite easy to get to S, but DR is something you've got to gradually reach. So going into turn 1, we just missed the braking point and slammed Scott McLaughlin off the track in his Shell V-Power Racing Mustang, a little nod to the V8 Supercars Championship, but we're going to wait for him. He goes there. I didn't really realise in time and go right to the back of the pack. But, so, the race has not gone well. And going up into turn 1, again, just missed the braking point again, slammed the Porsche out of the way, double wipe out as he knocks another player. And, honestly, and I sort of wanted him to go, but he didn't go, but, I don't know, it's just not a good race. And up through turn 2, I realised it's because I had all my references in hood cam, and I was trying chase cam in the race, for some stupid reason. You just serve the penalty, and coming into turn 3, receive a punt from the back, and end up in the gravel from the Audi and get reset back onto the track. So we're now firmly in 16th place. So someone quits there, or drops out, and then we'll see coming up here, he just slams into the wall and time travels back in front of me. Real Back to the Future stuff going on there, and he just stops and lets me go. So, I don't know what's going on there. Someone's off the track here, so that's another position, up into 13th. Someone's serving their penalty up into 12th, but that is at the end of the race now. We'll see coming through these final 2 turns, get that corner not too badly, and get Red Bull Mobile, I suppose, average. Just missed the apex slightly, but we managed to cross the line and keep our 12th place. I say keep 12th place, but it's more like disappointingly end in 12th place. But that's it, so a bad race there. So let's have another one and see if it can be any better here. So we're starting the race now. You just see the final up on screen there. Qualify in first position somehow with our 129.9. So we got a fair few mix of cars there actually, BMW and Aston Martin directly behind me there. But we'll start the race now and let's see what chaos ensues up into turn 1. So we'll see what happens. I do miss the braking point again and just slide wide onto the sort of extension of turn 1, and that allows the Aston Martin to get past. So of course Red Bull Ring was notorious for penalties, but they fixed turn 1 so you can't run wide anymore. But we got someone up on the inside coming into turn 8. And he just forces his way through with a little bit of contact. It was quite messy actually, but he managed to get through. And we lose another position, someone coming around the outside, the Honda. So we break up towards turn 2 and into turn 1 for the final lap. We're up ahead. The Honda is up ahead, so we haven't lost any further positions now. But you see the Ford ahead of the Honda has a half-second penalty. So we may be able to get past him, but he won't slow down enough up here. So hopefully that just rattles him. But coming into turn 2, we brake perfectly, go up the inside and park it on the apex, and give the Honda just enough space to keep it on the track. We're side by side, the move is not complete, so the Ford serves his penalty, and as predicted, we do get past him. He goes up the middle of the both of us, coming through there, and braking down towards turn 3. Honda just pokes ahead, and I do suspect I probably broke a little bit early. As we get on the power and just get the AstroTurf and spin it into the inside wall. Absolutely bin it. So that was a good race with the Honda for literally 2 corners. As we just go wide coming through turn 5 now. And we finished the race in 7th after losing all those positions. So it was a good race, but... Good race with the Honda, sorry, and then I decided to be an absolute idiot and bin it into the wall. So it's not going well at Red Bull Ring this time round. So let's have another race. I think this is, what's this, the 4th or 5th race? Oh, so there I am in 3rd. Obviously Max Verstappen not powering me to victory as predicted. I should have chosen a Mercedes livery, really, if I wanted to win every race. But coming up towards turn 2, I just missed the braking point and go into the back of the Mustang. I tried to go off the track, but I didn't quite get that in time, and I get 3 seconds of penalty, so I now find myself in 4th place, soon to be much lower than 4th as I decide to just bin it into the gravel. McLaren goes past. Oh, gets followed through by a Nissan, didn't realise that. But here we go, we're in 6th now, so we just can't have a good race around here. So Red Bull Ring as we get past by another Nissan. Oh, hang on, we got a Supra up the inside now. So he just a little bit of contact as I slide a bit, but we managed to keep it around the outside through here, turn 6, and come through turn 7, which gives me the inside line. I do manage to keep the position from the Supra, but it is all in futility as I'd serve my 3 seconds of penalties and lose a load of positions. So what was I in 6th, now 12th, so I've lost another 6 positions. Coming up towards turn 2, I'm on the curb, but the Audi comes in and smashes the Volkswagen off the track as I get a little bit of oversteer and manage to keep it. Coming through turn 3, someone's off the track, I managed to make up a position up into 9th, and we just see up ahead the red Nissan slow, but I don't think we're going to be able to make that move work, although the Beetle slams him off the track and I managed to make up those 2 positions. So this is that Supra before. Let's see what happens. McLaren comes in, coming in towards turn 3. They both slide wide. McLaren slams the Supra and he gets a load of oversteer and goes to the inside wall in a repeat move, as in copying exactly what I did a race ago. But we managed to keep those 2 positions, but coming through the final turn we go a little bit wide and get half a second of penalties, but it's not enough to lose another position on the line, so we do manage to keep 6th there. So I suppose this race is slightly better as in terms of I binned it all the way down to 12th and then managed to work my way back up to 6th, albeit by mistakes of others, but what a position is a position, what can I say? So here's the final race now. So this is the last one in the video today, and we qualify in 4th. So let's hope this race goes a little bit better than the previous races, but I don't know. I've said that about everything to happen. So coming up towards turn 2, the 3 up ahead, Audi's off the track. I think he was the pole sitter, and he ends up off the track, and Nissan's got a 3-second penalty there. So that's good. So in a lap, or actually just before turn 8, we're going to have the Nissan serve his penalty. But coming towards turn 3, let's see what happens down here. A little bit of contact actually between the Nissan and the Aston Martin, as the Nissan just turns in on him there in the pole position. So I'm not quite sure what he was thinking. Obviously didn't have the radar on. Coming through turn 5 now, a little bit wide, almost have a bit of contact with the Aston Martin. As you can just see, the Nissan is now preparing to serve his penalty. So we're soon going to be in 2nd place, and I do think the pole sitter there, he's not quite driving within himself. He's a bit slow there. So this is going to serve his penalty here. So coming towards turn 8, you can just see the Aston Martin just brake checks me, and I try to take evasive action as SLS slams through and goes off the track, and he gets a 4-second penalty up ahead. So I think that was just because I went into the back of him as I was trying to go off the track to avoid him, so the game thought he pushed me off. But we see coming through turn 1, I get a poor exit there, and coming through we have a questionably sponsored Mustang going through there. So I guess, I don't know, sponsorship is a sponsorship I suppose, but obviously not quite PG. We just received a punt going into turn 2 there, but we don't lose a position out of it. In fact, we gain as both the pole sitter and the questionably sponsored Mustang serve their penalties. Coming towards turn 3, we're going to be able to catch up a lot of ground in the Aston Martin. Yes, we are. Obviously Audi brakes a little bit better than Aston Martin's there, but he gets a better exit than me, so he's now 7/10 ahead. So we skip ahead now, coming towards turn 2. So as we accelerate off the corner, he gets on the curb and bins it into the wall on the inside. So an absolute gift of a move there. I'm now in 1st place, but coming through here, I get on the power a little bit too early and just go a little bit wide, compromising my entire run through this infield section now. So we got that Nissan before in, actually a second behind me in 2nd place, and I get a 1-second penalty for my poor run through the infield section there. So we lose the position back to the Nissan, and a Mercedes SLS goes through. So I'm now in 3rd, so a really poor run from me. So coming through turn 2 now, we see the SLS is preparing to serve a penalty there. So he loses half a second, or a little bit more than half a second rather, but we managed to just slowly putter our way past the SLS there, just because half a second only really slows momentum, it doesn't really do much. You just see down in the radar a bit of jostling for position there as the Aston Martin's trying to crawl his way back up, but in the end it's a 2nd place. So the pole sitter got around 2 seconds ahead and didn't really pull any more of a gap after that, but we do manage to keep 2nd place. So all in all, that's about the best race I had that week. But we see in the lobby afterwards, the pole sitter Emmanuel Pirro says, "What was that?" to me, and I was like, mate, I didn't really engage with him after that, but he was obviously referring to this incident here, where he just brakes way early. I've decided is way early, and I go into the back of him, and because I was taking evasive action, I went in the back of him as I was going off the track, so the game thinks like he pushed me off, which is why he got the penalty. But we look at the replay now, we just see where he brakes. So brake lights come on there, so that's where he starts to brake on the start of the curb, and that's way early. As you can see here, there you go, there's the incident. I go into the back of him there, and I just pause it there. But you see, here's me. This is the same race. A few laps later, as this is where I got a clean run, you can just see that red line's in the exact same spot as the red line from before, just before the marshal box, and you see I make the corner perfectly. So there's absolutely no reason for him to brake that early. I get differences in braking, but you just see the vast difference there, the marshal box being a little fleck in the distance on the left hand side of the screen there. But I get differences in cars, but it doesn't need to be that far early. It's just, I don't know, it was obviously his fault, but I guess if you're watching, I do apologise. I didn't do that on purpose, as I know you thought I did, but there we go. So that's the analysis. You broke a bit early. Anyway, that's the end of the video today, so that was really some very poor racing from me. I'm not quite taming what is the Red Bull there, but we managed to get an okay race in the end, albeit with a bit of a clumsy little move there, but I don't know, a race is a race, I guess, and second place is a second place. So once again, thank you for watching. You know what to do if you liked it, you know what to do if you want to see more. Subscribe, please. But that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.